GIE Plus Expo just around the corner. And at the largest event in our industry, you're going to see the latest technological innovations. You get to meet with product suppliers, participate in workshops, get hands-on time with the best equipment, and hang out with your favorite lawn bros. Brian says he hopes to see you at the trade show. It's in Louisville, October the 20th through the 22nd, and get 50% off your registration when you use the promo code Brian, and we've got a link for you in the description.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton, here hanging out with you guys. And today we are doing an exciting guest interview. We have none other than Ethan Jackson joining us over here from Litchfield, Illinois. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, Brian. Had not too bad of a day. The weather was pretty good.
Yeah.
We got the yard knocked out.
There you go, man. Were you out mowing some customers' lawns today, or what's the weather like for you guys?
It was pretty sunny today, a little bit of clouds in the sky, but it was about 83 or 84 for the high.
Yeah.
Today.
I'll take that.
Yeah, we mowed about 8 yards. Yeah, I'll take that any day.
Wow, that's awesome. You did 8 yards. Are you solo, or do you have a couple guys, or?
Nope, I'm solo right now. I have a sibling or two help me only with a big landscape job, or say I'm pulling weeds on a hedge trimming job. I don't really like pull weeds, so I'll hire a sibling to come and do that for me every once in a while.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, if you guys aren't following Ethan here, his business is Ease Loyalty and Lawn Care, and he is 15 years old, which is just crazy. It's so exciting for you. There's so much going on for you, both with your personal life, and then you got this small business now. There's a lot going on, and I imagine at this age you're just fired up and excited about your business, man.
Oh, yeah. And I'm just very grateful and thankful for you, Paul Jameson, and all the other people that just put out such great content. So
thanks.
It helps me learn so much, and in such quick time even, too. I don't have to make the same mistakes you guys have, so I'm just very grateful that I'm able to learn that from you guys.
Man, that's awesome. Well, that's what we like to hear, man. And it doesn't matter if you're 13, 14, 15, or you're 30 or 35, and you're trying to still put some things together. We're trying to talk to a broad audience, man. And our message is, hey, we're trying to, like you just said, try to save you guys some hassles, some frustrations. If you're trying to grow a lawn and landscaping company, we run a company up here in Metro Detroit, Michigan. This is our 16th season. So whether you've been in business for 1 or 2 years or 15 or 20 years, hopefully there's a little bit that you can glean from each and every episode that we put out here on the podcast Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So if you guys might be new to the show, welcome to the jungle, and we appreciate the support and the ratings, reviews, and you guys downloading and subscribing and following to the podcast. So let's do this really quick, Ethan. I want to hear a little bit more of your startup story, like what you got going on, what your business looks like, what you're excited about. We're going to hear a little bit from today's show sponsors here, and then we're going to come right on back and hear a little bit more from Ethan Jackson with Ease Loyalty Lawn Care. Guys, hang tight. We'll come right on back.
We want to thank the lawn and landscape community for making GIE Plus Expo their place to reunite as an industry. Like a family reunion, thousands of dealers, landscape pros, and contractors return annually to network, share ideas, learn best practices, and make new friends. It all starts Wednesday, October 20th with the opening reception and continues into the night with free concerts in downtown Louisville. At the show, you'll have the opportunity to share experiences and brainstorm new approaches to your business challenges with friends and like-minded professionals. You don't want to miss the opening keynote, Secrets of Being an Effective Leader, presented by retired Navy 4-star Admiral James Stavridis. Register now at GIE-Expo.com, and we'll see you October 20th through the 22nd in Louisville.
Ratings and reviews.
Each week, we take a minute to highlight your guys' reviews of the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for all the Fat Elvis-sized 5-star reviews. Our first one simply says, awesome. I just started listening today. I'm late to the show. I lost my job due to COVID in March of 2020, and I started my own lawn care business down in South Alabama. or what we used to call LA, Lower Alabama, although they did have higher teen pregnancy rates than North Alabama, where I'm from. He goes on to say, I'm in year 2 now. It's been a grind. However, this podcast is already helping shape my thoughts differently as I get ready to grow. Simply signed MMVFD. Nick writes, best podcast I've ever listened to. I listened to every episode. There is an A++ team at the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast in Brian, Marty, and most importantly, and you, sir, are right, most importantly, Liz, who is the spice to Brian's yammering. Just kidding. That's from Nick Bryans. Role model is how Cam titles his review. Brian is your classic good old boy industry leader. He shoots it straight and gives people what they need to hear. Brian lays out excellent foundations for the listeners who want to grow their lawn and landscape business and get those crew numbers up. Can't wait to see where you're going to go, Brian. That was signed Cameron 1907. Our final review is from Chris. He exclaims, great podcast. I'm finally starting my business for the first time, full-time, in a new state. I'm trying to start off the right way, no shortchanging myself. I wish you could have a podcast with someone like myself just starting, completely fresh. He could point out a lot of mistakes and learning lessons of the raw beginning. Let me interject real quick. If you haven't checked out our good friend, Paul Jameson, friend of the show, he has a book called Cut That Grass and Make That Cash, and he outlines years of mistakes that I think would be of great help. Our reviewer goes on to say, I continue to listen here and stay subscribed on YouTube, just eating up all the great information that you give. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you, Christopher, and thanks to everybody who leaves a review, and I hope to read yours real soon.
Want us to read your review next? Let us know how we're doing, and we might just read your review on next week's show.
Hello there. I just want to say a special thank you for you leaving that review for me. It really helps me a lot. I appreciate it. I had a great time bringing Elvis to your event, and leaving that review is going to help me get more gigs. You can see here I'm with the man here. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Lawns, lessons, and live. This is the Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast. Now, your host, Brian Fullerton.
All right, Ethan. Well, let's go right back to you, brother. You're 15 years old, and so your startup story might be not as long as some of the other guys in the industry, right? Mm-hmm. But how did you get started mowing grass and cutting lawns, and what's your story look like, brother?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, actually. I kind of always tell people it always started with cookies and a joke. So the cookies part is back. I used to live on a kind of almost a farm, you could say. I was in 4-H a lot. We had about 9.5 acres of property. We had hogs, goats, and whatnot out in the country where I used to live. So I couldn't really mow people's yards at that age because you would have to get the big zero turns and the big equipment.
Sure.
And most people mowed their own yards. It was 3 acres, easy, minimum. But what I would do, because I guess I always had the entrepreneurial spirit in me, you could say, I guess. So I would bake my own homemade cookies, go around to my neighbors that are about 10 of them. I only had 10 neighbors really around us. I would go around and sell cookies, five cookies for $3. Okay. Or 10 of them for $8, I think it was back in the day. So what I would go and do that, but it would surprise me, honestly. I would make at least 120 a week, and I would try and do it every other week to a week and a half. I would almost do it repetitively almost. And I would just put that money in my wallet to go spend it on Legos, I guess, fishing gear, whatnot, So, but then where the joke part comes in, like I said, we used to live out in the country. About a year and a half ago, we were at our church one Sunday morning, and one of the old church buildings that was in the town of Litchfield, where I live now, actually, was going up for sale. And my dad jokingly said, "Hey, we should buy that, Mom, or Michelle." And I was like, I kind of joked too at the same time. I was like, haha. But anyway, it turns out to be about, I'd say 6 to 7 months later, we find ourselves purchasing that house. So now we moved up to Litchfield, and we need a lawnmower to cut our grass here in town. And I was just back at the old farmhouse, you could call it, with my dad one day on the computer. We were just looking at, I think we were watching some Stanley Genetic and something about mowers or something, and maybe some of you, Brian, I don't know, but
sure.
We were watching that, just having a good time. And he pulled up Lowe's page and he was looking at the mower. They're like, oh, that's a cool mower or whatnot. So come to find out, my mom and him had been planning to buy a mower, and I was going to get to start a mowing business because I'd been mowing for my grandma for a little while. I'm at that point in time with her push mower, but they blessed me with a 2020 Craftsman T240 hydrostatic 46-inch mower.
Wow.
And the deal was I would pay for half of it. They would take the other half, no problem. And I would just mow their grass for them, no problem.
Okay.
I was like, oh my goodness, thank you guys so much. This was just great. I had a weed eater at the time, and when I was in 4-H, I would sell hogs and goats. So I had a little money from there. I had bought a garden trailer before we moved, actually, just to haul around stuff at my own property. Just because I kind of always was into landscaping a little and that stuff like that. So I would do a little stuff around our house. So I had a garden trailer, and I was like, hey, I'm all set. We got gas cans. We got a weed eater. All I needed was a blower. So I think I went to Sears, and I picked up a little Craftsman handheld blower.
Yeah.
Then I went out, and I was like, guys, so I went and started I didn't even have a flyers or anything. I just went and knocked on people's doors. I knocked about on 12 doors, and out of 12 of them, 11 accepted me.
Whoa.
Within the span of about 4 months, I would say I did that.
And how old were you back then, by the way?
I was 14, so this was last year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because my birthday's towards the end of the year.
Okay.
So this was last year. And I started like right when the pandemic was really hitting. So I'm like, oh no, I don't know how people are going to feel about me coming and knocking on their doors and stuff.
Sure.
But I did it, and I got some great customers. My prices weren't as great as they are now, you could say, because like I was just starting to find you guys in the green industry. So I was starting to learn more. But when I mowed maybe 5 yards for the first 2 months, I think it was. But after that, like I said, I got about to 11 to 10 clients. And I had some people that even had mowers. And this is the cool part. They could completely mow their own grass. And they're like, since you are this age and doing this, and we don't see these many kids doing this, I'm going to help you out. And I would say I charged one guy, I told him a 15 for a cut, and he ended up giving me 25 each week. And I'm like, so he just wanted to bless me in my business, which was very much appreciated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
milk that for all it's worth.
Yeah, for sure. And it turned out that Craftsman blower broke, actually. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is like a month and a half in. It breaks. I was able to return it for what I could get from it. I think it was maybe a 150. I don't remember honestly now, but I was able to return that, and I sold my bicycle, and I just went and bought a steel backpack blower. Maybe not the smartest choice because I kind of bought like the BR200. I just thought it'd be kind of cool to have a backpack blower.
Yeah.
It looked more professional, I guess you could say, but it's powerful, but it's just not what you really need for weeds for sure. But then I went from there mowing, and then when around fall time hit, I didn't get to do as much leaf cleanup as I wanted or stuff like that. But once, I think it was probably in October, that's when I really started winding down with mowing.
Okay.
There's a guy that goes to our church. His name is Gary Good. Big shout out to him. He'd been in the lawn and landscaping business for 40 years at that time.
Wow.
Ran his own thing. And at this point in time, he was building like a little farm type deal, landscaping a giant ground, like a pool in the side of almost like a little hill, like a mountain. Really cool.
Okay.
So I was like, hey, I know you've been in the business for a while, and I was just wondering if you could teach me some things and tell me how to landscape, because that's kind of what he does really good. So I got to work with him at our church, because what he would do, he would come from a town about 30 minutes away from Litchfield. He would come and stay Tuesday through Wednesday and then to Thursday. So during the winter through fall, I would work with him 3 days a week, almost every week, because I'm homeschooled. So I'm able to maneuver things a little more. And that's what's been a big help in my business, actually.
Yeah.
Being able to help me get out there more, grow. But I got to work with this guy through pretty much the whole fall and winter. And he taught me so much just with landscaping, because mowing is pretty simple, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's not too hard to figure out.
Yep.
But he taught me so much with landscaping. It was amazing, really. He taught me where to find good deals on products or whatnot, you know? So I was able to learn a lot through him. And thank the Lord that he was around, because they had been to our church before, and I worked with him picking up sticks in the churchyard when I was young. And then they went to their church in Jerseyville for a while. Then the Lord told them to come back. I'm pretty sure that's what he was telling me.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah, it was God's timing, that's for sure, you could say. But we were able to...
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask, you've been doing this for a year or two and just going. What even like back to the cookies, when you were selling those door to door, what was the alluring part or the exciting part about being an entrepreneur? Was it selling? Was it like what was the motivation? Because I mean, most kids your age, they're doing TikTok dances and playing baseball, which I'm sure you still do that and have fun, But
yeah, I played some sports.
Yeah, what was what's the exciting part about hustling and getting lawn customers? Like what was the motivation?
Good question. It was just really, I guess you could say it's just I love to work. Honestly, I kind of always have had a good work ethic, I believe, from a young age, really. And maybe that comes as a part of being the oldest of 6 siblings. Kind of have to hold the fort down sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But I just enjoy working, and especially lawn mowing and landscaping. I don't know, there's just something so satisfying in it to me.
Yeah.
That's why I get out of bed and I'm like so excited to get out there and mow. But with the cookies, I guess it was just getting to sell the product and making a little money here and there, and then going to buy what I enjoyed at the time.
Yeah. Because
I've always been told, I guess, from a younger age, I'm a really good talker. I'm a really good salesman. I'm like, I guess I'll put that to use. So
that's awesome.
And I guess it's worked.
What do your parents think about your when you were hustling, cookies and baked goods, door to door? By the way, I used to do that when I was 13, 14, 15. I did lemonade stands, and
I've done that.
hawking 25 and 50 cent cups of lemonade, and then I literally pulled my mom's grill, curbside, and put the little umbrella. I don't know if I zip tied it or whatever, and put like a little hot dog stand. I was selling hot dogs for $1 and $2, and the subdivision I'm in, like I'm in the back corner, like there's no traffic. Okay. We had 9 cars drive by per day. But I was still slinging hot dogs. And so I was just like you, like 13, 14, 15, but what was your parents thinking about, your hustle and your ambition, and what do they think about now with your lawn care business?
Yeah. Well, they've always been very supportive of that part of my life and really anything in my life. But they've always been like, you can do this or you can do that. But as long as you keep school in mind and God in your life.
Cool.
So I've always kept that into mind. I'm like, yeah, I definitely have to keep God at number one. Then my faith is number one, family, and then whatever. But yeah, they've always been very supportive of that. And I'm just very thankful for that too.
Yeah.
Like my grandpa, he's a great cook, and back before my parents really were married, actually, he built a golf course out just in the middle of nowhere, pretty much. He bulldozed acres and acres and built a beautiful, beautiful golf course. I mean, NFL teams would come out to golf, and that's where my uncle learned his art of landscaping, and he ran even a business for a little while. So I've always kind of had a good group of people around me to pull from and learn from and stuff. So I've always had great support around me, for sure, which is a blessing in itself. But my parents have been particularly like, you got this, Ethan, you can do this, and if you need help, we are here for you, which I appreciate much.
It's always,
I'm not
it's always good to have that encouragement behind the scenes, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
Wow.
And I don't know if you know, but I picked up a 1979 Kubota B7100.
No, I didn't.
Diesel loader tractor. Yeah, it's a loader. It's a 18 horsepower diesel, I believe. It's 1979, but this thing runs like a top, honestly. And I've done a lot of landscape work with it already. I picked that up June, I believe it was. I picked it up. Great little tractor, by the way. But my parents were like, I'm pretty sure I'm positive I'm gonna be able to make the payments through the month and winter and stuff. But they're like, if you need anything, you just come to us. We're here for you. Which I truly appreciate that, because I don't know about you, but I don't really want to have to go to my parents asking for money for something I'm trying to do for my business and for my life.
Right.
But I'm just glad that they've acknowledged that and they're here for me. I'm just very grateful for that.
That's really, really special, man. I'm really excited for you to have that support, and just having somebody believe in you or be in your corner can mean all the world, and whether it's a future spouse or a parent, or even a sibling, that's always cool to have somebody have your back. Let me ask you just really quick. You said a year or two ago you guys were watching some Stanley Dirt Monkey videos. Did those videos get promoted to you guys, or were you guys like YouTube searching out like best zero turn mower to buy, or like what's like watching YouTube or you said you listened to Paul Jameson's podcast? What has that stuff done for you at such a young age? Like what's the kind of content that you like to watch, listen to, and enjoy?
I would just watch I'm not sure if you're familiar with Terrell Fixes All. I think it's a small engine YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And they're pretty funny to watch, honestly, but I would just, I don't know. Like I said, I just found something about it I enjoyed. So I think it was just a big equipment with Stanley, first of all, that I would watch. I just watched him once I found him on my tablet or what it was, I don't know, computer, whatever. I was like, hey, Dad, check this out. So we were watching that, and I don't think we searched anything on best zero turn or anything to buy like that. I think it was just because he had bought a mower from Lowe's before, about 10 years before before then, and he was like, "Hey, let's look on Lowe's for a mower because we're going to need to get a new one."
Oh yeah,
and they were able to find a great deal. I mean, these little Craftsman, I know they're not commercial or anything, but I beat the crap out of this one at times, and this thing's still running strong.
That's awesome.
Hey, 200 something hours.
My first trimmer and blower. If you guys have listened to my story, I bought clearance open box, which is like the returned discounted. Hey, we just need to move it. Yeah, like little edger, little trimmer, little blower. They were. I think I had a trimmer, blower, and an edger for I think like $150 out the door. Like it. That's how like discounted they were, So,
wow.
so many people that we get to talk to in the industry had like little humble beginnings at your age or 18, 19 with Sears products, and it's just a warm place in all of our hearts, So, Let me ask you this. Well, so fast forward to where you are today. What's business look like for you now? Are you doing more landscaping with your church friend? Are you still mowing, a dozen accounts, or what do things look like today?
Yeah, right now I'm mowing on a weekly basis. I think pretty close to 24, 25 accounts, I believe.
Wow.
I have one commercial contract. It's not mowing or land. It's just I did a hedge trimming for them last month.
Sure.
And I used your commercial contract from Entrepreneur Academy. Great resource, and really like it.
Awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, and right now I just have them on a monthly weeding schedule where I come out and weed their landscape beds for them once a month.
That's awesome.
I have about landscaping to 2 landscaping jobs every probably 18 days.
Okay.
Something along those lines.
Wow.
For sure. And my first landscape job I did on my own without Gary was 2.5 tons of rock.
Whoa.
And it wasn't the small 3/8 rock. It was 1.5 rainbow rock or river rock.
Okay.
And it was this old bed, this old landscape bed. I dug them out by hand, put new metal ledging in, then shoveled this rock. I got it done in one day too, which was great. But after I shoveled this rock, I'm like, my goodness, I got to do something else about this.
Yeah. Wow.
And I just did one side of their house, and lo and behold, about probably pretty close to a month or maybe so, I think it was, this customer of mine called me back and said, hey, would you want to do the other side of our house, which was 3 tons of rock? And I still didn't have my tractor at that point, but I just shoved it out by hand and stuff, and I got that done in a day.
Wow.
And it's pretty cool because looking at it now, it's only been a few months since I did that job, but it's in a nicer subdivision for our town. Our town's about 6,200 people, I think, so it's a smaller town. But we have a few nice subdivisions, I would say. In this subdivision, there's a house if you stand it, there's 3 houses that we're looking at, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The one to the left, I did first with that rock, which was about 6 tons of rock total. And then I had to the right, the far right, not the one in the middle, the far right, I did a removal job. I removed quite a few hedges for this lady and stuff. And then I was able to, just this past week or two, I did the one house in the middle we're looking at now. I did a 3-ton rock job just around their little garden shed, just top dressing with some purple trap.
Yeah.
But I had the tractor for that. But like I know you guys are always talking about route density, but I know this isn't mowing, but landscape, I've done 3 houses in this one subdivision, door to door to each other, and now I have a mowing customer in that subdivision.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. You're just, you're hustling, man.
Yeah. And the word of mouth really does work. I just now started to do a little with postcards and stuff because I'm looking to, I'm probably going to be purchasing your leaf cleanup postcard, I think it is.
Cool.
From Launchpreneur Academy, because I really want to hit leaf cleanups big this fall. And I know it's good income during the fall, but I really do want to hit that pretty hard this year. Maybe get a bigger backpack blower maybe to help me out with that. But
yeah,
that's what we're looking at for this this fall.
That's awesome, man. I just love hearing the hustle and what you guys got going on, and so many good things going on behind the scenes. I'm sure as well with work and family. And I know your parents got to be proud of you, and your family's got to be proud of you. While you were talking, I found you. I mean, we follow each other back on Instagram, obviously, but I was pulling up your page and I see the glorious red Craftsman tractor all over, and that's awesome, man. I mean, you can do some good, like you said, mowing and some good damage with these garden tractors. What's the dream zero turn? Because I saw on one of your posts you said, hey, this Craftsman's awesome, but looking to maybe upgrade to a zero turn. What's the dream rig and dream setup right there?
That's a good question. Right now, for next year possibly, I'm looking to get one of them Exmark radiuses, but my dream setup would probably be an enclosed trailer, somewhat like yours, just because there's not really anybody in our town that has one, like a moving billboard.
Yeah.
Put my logo on the side of that and load it up with 2 zero turns or a stand on and a zero turn.
Yeah.
And I'm a big steel guy. That's what my family's used for years, and that's what I've used in my business. So maybe we'll get to Echo eventually, but for now, I'm a steel guy. And throw some equipment defender racks in there and a few sure cans and we're good to go.
Man, you'll have this whole thing buttoned up by like 17, 18 years old, man.
That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, I just I didn't have that all figured out until 30, and I just love listening to you guys, man. Some of you younger guys, 13, 15, 18 years old, it's just crazy to see what you guys are doing. Let me ask you this, maybe 2 quick questions here, and we'll kind of land the plane here. But let me ask you this: what is the number one thing that you could suggest to other younger guys listening in? Maybe they're 13, 14, 15 years old. What do you think's like the best thing that you could give them some encouragement? Maybe they want to go cut a couple lawns and make some extra money, and they want to treat it, semi-serious. What's some things that you think have really worked for you to get you to where you're at right now?
That's a great question. One thing I've had in mind is find something that can make you different from the other 40-year-old, 30-year-old lawn care guys, landscaping guys. Find something that can make you different, whether that's the way you communicate to your customers even, or the quality of work you do. For me, it's been a little bit of 2 things, I really think, for me, because like I said, we're in a smaller town, but there are quite a few lawn care companies around, and some of them are younger guys and some of them are older guys. But what I've found in just asking them, honestly, none of them use a CRM like Yardbook or Job or whatnot you have. But most of them just are paper invoices. And I know there's nothing wrong with that, but I just know you can streamline your business a little more. And I've learned that from you and a few other guys just with using a CRM, simple as it can be. And another thing that's really helped me differentiate from the other companies, I believe, is almost all the companies I've ever talked to in our town and the surrounding towns, as simple as this is right here, none of them use a stick edger. And they all use a string trimmers to edge. And I mean, you can get a pretty decent edge with that, but I have quite a few clients that have overgrown edging. Like, seriously, I mean, we're talking 8 inches out on the sidewalk. Dirt, you need a shovel. And so just the beginning of this year, pretty much, I picked up the Steel 91 combi system where you can change out the heads on that thing.
Yeah.
And I bought the straight shaft edger attachment for that. And that's been something I've just posted a few pictures on that on my Facebook, Instagram, and I put it on my flyers. And that's just something that's literally helped me gain more customers. They like what I can do with that, especially in like that subdivision I was talking about.
Sure.
That helped me. I think that might be the thing that helped me to gain that one mowing client. And now I've had a few other people say, when our contract expires next year, we're going to go with you in that subdivision. I'm like, okay, that sounds cool with me.
Wow.
But
that's awesome.
Find something that's a niche for you, or that can differentiate from the other companies. So you're not that guy going to them with the flyer or whatever, but you can show them your work. And especially if we're younger, because I mean, some people they're going to be like, oh, it's a kid, he's not going to know what he's doing. But if you can show them your work, you can get a lot of great jobs, especially landscaping.
Wow.
I've had a few people around my age ask me, how do you get all these landscapes? I'm like, well, my first landscape job actually ever was for my grandma. I'm like, I just asked my grandma if we can do it at cost. I won't charge her anything. She can just pay for the materials. We can do it together with her.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did, and posted that on Facebook, put it on the flyers, and people saw it. I'm like, wow, this kid does not bad work for his age.
Yeah.
So that's what really helps me, you could say, find my niche, find what differentiates me from the other companies.
That's awesome, man. Well, you're learning so much and just getting experience, and that's like when you were working with your friend, was his name Gary? I think you said.
Yep.
When you were working with him, and of course doing your own jobs and just learning. I mean, it's all scrimmage right now for you until you really turn 16 and you get a car, and then 18.
Yeah, for sure.
You can put everything more legitimized, obviously. But one other question for you that I was just curious about. What do you think is the biggest takeaway that you've got from Paul Jameson's podcast? You said you're a big podcast junkie before we hit record.
Yeah, that's for sure.
What's the best tip that you've gotten so far from Paul Jameson, or I guess even anybody's podcast that you think has made the biggest difference in the way you run your business right now?
Yeah. From Paul Jameson's podcast, I would honestly just have to say route density.
Cool.
As simple as that can be, that has helped me so much. There's one street in our town. I have like 4 customers on this one street, and I just drive my mower to my job. But like route density, it's as simple as it is. It's make or break in a business, honestly.
Right.
It's really a big deal when you think about it.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think that's one of my saving graces for what got my company through its first decade of Try, Fail, Adjust. I think a bunch of other stuff helped us become more profitable later. But we had a good canvas, to work from. Is that we had a lot of customers in a tight spot. So that I think was one of the prerequisites to us when our business blossomed and matured a little bit more the last few years. Thankfully, we had a lot of like I said, clay to work with, if you will. That's really, really cool. I'm honestly pumped for you, brother. It's really cool to see like what you've done so far. Let me ask you again. What was the other guy that if he happens to listen to this podcast or episode, his name is Gary, but what's his name in business again?
I don't know his business name. I think it was like Good Landscaping, but his name is Gary Good.
Okay, cool. Cool.
He's not really in business anymore. He's retired, but he still does mow a few yards for people.
Yeah.
Just around town.
That's okay.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but he has just taught me so much, just not just alone on the business side, but just on customer relationships and even work side of it and stuff. Well, and I've been able to take what I've learned from you and Paul Jameson and all the others. I just can't think to name them all. Yeah. I've been able to take what I've learned from you guys and just mesh it into what works best for me. And that's what I recommend for like people my age, or even, I don't know, however old you are, just take what these guys are feeding us for free and take what your local industry is about and take that and mesh it together and find what works best for you.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'm excited for you. Believe it or not, it's crazy how fast time goes. It's already been a good half hour here. And
wow, that's insane.
I tell everybody who's a guest on the show or is on the show, obviously, that it turns into a little time warp. And but we all just get so excited and all charged up about lawn care, and you know, we all nerd out about mowing grass and landscaping and equipment. And so it's also a lot of fun having different guests on of all different ages, you know. So from whether you're 15 to 25 or 35 or 55. We've had Paul Kamara on there, and he's over 40, let's say, and then we got Ethan over here who's 15 going on 22. So it's awesome just hearing a different breadth of everybody that's out there making it happen, and the pleasure's all mine of getting to hang out and catch up with so many of you guys. So let's do this really quick. If we button it up right here, where can people catch up with you, and where can they find you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. That's where I do most of my posting, and I do have a bit of a YouTube channel. I'm just trying to grow that more. I recently picked up a GoPro not too long ago, actually.
Oh, cool.
Because at first I was just filming it on my iPhone, and that wasn't working out the best. So I was like, you know what? I'll invest it, and let's see if we can get a return on this. So my goal for this year really is with my YouTube channel is to hit, I think, 100 subscribers. I mean, that's just a little goal of mine, but right now I'm at 70. Wow. But my video quality is improving, I believe, and my content is. So if you guys want to go check me out, it's E''S Loyalty Lawn Care, E's Loyalty Lawn Care on Instagram or on the YouTube. And I'm pretty sure I have a link on my Instagram to my YouTube somehow like that. So
yeah,
it shouldn't be too hard to find me.
Yep, I see it in the little text box there at the top. So that's awesome. Well, if you guys enjoyed getting to hang out with Ethan here for a little bit, shoot him a DM, give him a follow on Instagram, show him some love. But we appreciate you taking time to be on the show, man. This is really, really cool. And honestly, I wish you nothing but the best as you continue to grow over the next couple of weeks, months, years. It's really exciting to see so many of you younger guys, just out there making a name for yourself and putting in the work, So any last things you want to leave these guys? But if not, we'll button up right here.
Well, I'm just very thankful that you had the opportunity, or you gave me the opportunity to be on your show and to talk to all these people that are listening.
Yeah.
And I just, I'm very thankful that from all the content you put out, you sharing like Launchpreneur Academy and all that stuff. And I might be making GI Expo. I still have talked to that with my dad about that, but it's 50-50 right now. And I hope I can make it. It seems like a really cool place.
Yeah.
To meet people and just look at equipment. But, make it a mandatory homeschool field trip day or whatever they call it. There you go.
For some kind of class, it's a science class, and actually, and I appreciate you taking time to be on the show too, because what you're doing is continuously adding to the homeschool resume for Liz and I, where
that's good.
Yeah, we're beyond convinced that that's the way to go for our kids, because there's.
Yeah, it really is. I highly recommend it.
I like it. I love it. So
there you go.
All right, brother. Well, hey, we'll button up right here. Thanks for taking time out of your schedule. I know you're only 15 and you're a young man, but you could be doing 100 different things too. So we don't take it for granted either that you want to take time to be on our show. So guys, that's what we're buttoning up right here. So Ethan, thanks again for taking time to be on the show, brother. We appreciate you big time.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, Brian. I hope you have a great day, and blessings to you and the baby.
You bet, brother. Well, hey, thank you, sir. We appreciate that. All right, guys. Well, hey, we'll button up right here, guys. We super appreciate you listening in to this episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Guys, do me a big favor. Would you go give Ethan a follow on Instagram? It's E's Loyalty and Lawn Care. Just, maybe share the episode or a screenshot or a snippet. We'd love reposting that. If you guys haven't, scrolled down and left us a 5-star rating or review just yet, we would really appreciate it if you guys did that. We're pouring it out here for you guys. And if you guys want to show some love back or reciprocate, that would mean the world to us. So let's do this, guys. Let's kick it back over to Marty, Mr. Producer, down in the ATL, and we look forward to catching up with you guys here on the next one.
We want to thank the lawn and landscape community for making GIE Plus Expo their place to reunite as an industry. Like a family reunion, thousands of dealers, landscape pros, and contractors return annually to network, share ideas, learn best practices, and make new friends. It all starts Wednesday, October 20th with the opening reception and continues continues into the night with free concerts in downtown Louisville. At the show, you'll have the opportunity to share experiences and brainstorm new approaches to your business challenges with friends and like-minded professionals. You don't want to miss the opening keynote, Secrets of Being an Effective Leader, presented by retired Navy 4-star Admiral James Stavridis. Register now at GIE-Expo.com, and we'll see you October 20th through the 22nd in Louisville.
Oh, God. I'm going to have to shovel. I don't even have a snowblower. Nobody to plow me. Oh, my God, and the neighbors suck. They don't help. Oh, my God, what am I going to do?
Do you want to keep the cash flowing this winter? Head over to L'EntreprenneurAcademy.com and check out all of Brian Fullerton's new courses and powerful resources to get you cashing in on that white gold through plowing snow. The Snow Plowing Training Course is easy to understand, and you'll learn what it takes to do the job effectively and how to bid, price, and estimate snow plowing for both residential and commercial properties. L'EntreprenneurAcademy.com has 3 new resources to take the hassle and guesswork out of securing your snow removal jobs, plus there's eye-catching marketing materials that can help you secure new clients quickly. Ready to crush the snow game this year? Visit L'EntreprenneurAcademy.com or use the link in the podcast description.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.